Fuck him, feed him, leave him alone. You guys are actually crying because men don't approach you anymore. Do you want to know why they don't approach you anymore, Karen? Because if they approach you, he's a predator. And if he hits on you, oh my God, SA. Not to mention the fact that you guys catfish yourselves with 20 pounds of fucking makeup and your personality. So when he actually feels something, you show your fucking things and your psycho side. The amount of false accusations where pro basketball players and just random men in general have actually had their lives ruined because of shit like this, with the false fucking claims, that is why men are not approaching you. That is why men are not talking to you. It has nothing to do with your looks per se. You can be the most beautiful girl in the room and they would probably be dying to talk to you. And then they're going through a list in their head of everything you could do to fucking ruin their lives. And the last thing they need over their head is to be accused of shit that they didn't do. That is why they are not approaching you. Do better.
You know what? I don't like men giving me to-do lists, but, you know, I'll bite. Thunderfoot. Why don't men approach? Why don't men approach? Okay. This is why. It's because of Clarence. He comes out every month and just like annihilates my face. And I'm sorry I had to bring up the elephant in the room, but yeah, Clarence is such a nuisance and it's just crazy. So there you go. Why men don't approach. Gosh, you don't have to be mean about it, Thunderfoot.
Question for the men. Why is it that men stopped approaching women in public? I feel like back in the 90s and maybe even early 2000s, it was so common for men to come up to women and, ask them out for a drink or, just ask for their numbers and stuff. But I feel like that has completely stopped. Why is that?
Women always ask me, what happened to men today? Great question. What started out as a good thing, encouraging men to respect women, has swung way too far in the opposite direction. Now, a lot of men are terrified of women, so they wait for perfect conditions before making a move. But courage doesn't exist without risk, and women can't respect men who don't risk anything. So as a man, if you want to be seen as confident, you've got to be willing to look stupid, to get rejected, to be misunderstood. So start by taking small risks. Approach women when you're out and about. Initiate plans with them. You'd be surprised how fast it'll work, because women nowadays, they're not turned off by that kind of effort. They're starving for it.
This is a public service announcement for white men. It is okay to approach a Latina at the bar.
That part, yep.
It is okay to like a Latina. We are equals. We are pretty people. We are also equal to the blondes at the bar.
Even better.
Even better, maybe. I don't wanna perhaps.
Don't quote me on it, but
please, it is okay to approach a Latina at the bar. It is okay.
We will talk to you.
We will talk to you. It is okay. I promise. It is okay. Please approach us. We are all one. We are begging.
We're begging.
We're on our hands and knees. Please approach us.
I'm on my knees.
Like, what the fuck?
My favorite thing about being a girl is that if I decide out of the blue to send a guy a picture of my ass or another explicit body part, it's always welcome, even encouraged. Always being accepted with the best praises, like, ooh, baby, your ass is so hot, like what I'm gonna do to you, where you at right now, I wanna see you right now. But when a guy is sending a picture of his junk out of the blue, he's a freak.
And you're also correct, 100% correct, that violence overall is going down. What my argument in response to that observation would be is that matches that violence going down overall is in line with the condemnation of masculinity more broadly. So the phrase toxic masculinity, the invention and of the patriarchy, and then demonization of that patriarchy as to become like a catch-all explanation for everything. It's the patriarchy. Has been a very, very effective piece of propaganda, but it's largely nonsense. There are few, if any, objective measures of anything that would suggest that we have lived in a society for, well, potentially forever, but that we've lived in a society that systematically puts the benefits of men above women. That's just objectively untrue. We live in a society that values the lives of women much more than it values the lives of men. It values the health of women much more than it values the health of men, and that's always been the case, right? There's a reason why the men died on the Titanic and the women and the children were saved, right? There's nothing unusual about the Titanic. There's a reason why we send men off to war and we don't send women off to war. And the reason why societies value women much more than they value men is because inherently women biologically are just much more valuable. A society can send 90% of its men off to die in a war, and its population can recover in the next generation if few to none of its women die. If it sent 90% of its women off to war, it couldn't recover for many, many generations. So women are just more valuable. As men are in a developing, growing, thriving society, men are effectively expendable. And that's how thriving societies treat men. They work them incredibly hard. Lots of men die in the workplace, lots of men die in war, lots of men die heading out to the frontiers to explore, to gain new territory. Men are, in a thriving society, men are effectively expendable. Women are not. And so that is how society treats women. One of my favorites, probably not the right word. One of the examples that I like to pick up on is the claim that women often make that, society spend much more money on male healthcare than it does on female healthcare. And it loves pointing to this paper that showed that 13% of sort of health budgets were spent on female specific issues and touted that as evidence that, so much more money is spent. That same paper showed that just 6% of budgets are spent on male specific issues. The rest of it is spent on issues that are not sex specific. So the exact paper that these feminists use and constantly point to as evidence that governments only spend 13% of the health budget on women actually showed that it spends more than twice as much on women as it does on men. And that excluded anything to do with obstetrics and childbearing. So of course the differential would be much larger if you included that, and those statistics excluded that. So the objective evidence is clear, and it can be shown in any kind of domain. You can set up little psychological experiments where you sort of give people little vignettes and descriptions of sort of quite unlikely scenarios, like stuck in a little lifeboat in the middle of the ocean, and you get them to choose who gets thrown overboard. And it's very easy to show that in every kind of hypothetical scenario, the implicit value that people place on the life of a woman is much higher than the value that places on the life of a man, and that is reflected in every aspect of society. So the suggestion of a patriarchy is absolute nonsense.
I'm glad she's speaking on it, because modern women don't really seem to understand how much men actually do.
I got a theory that me and that man been talking about, and I think I'm right. First, it was the lady last week crying about how she got a good husband, but she tired of having to consider him. And everybody was in the comment section talking about, sis, put your happiness first. It's okay to leave if you need to leave. Then it was the coffee date lady. And you got all the people in the comment section. That's right, sis. Stand on your standards. Don't accept less than what you deserve. Now we got the lady that was taken to a church date. And it's women in the comment section. He could have waited on you. He could have done. I wouldn't dare. Do y'all not see the ramifications of making up these fictitious stories? Because I don't think none of these stories really happen. You would have to be a crazy person to get in the car, to go to church with somebody and do all of that. Not saying that anybody has to take a coffee date, but offer, hey, well, how about we get sandwiches instead? I just don't see any man that really is interested in you saying, no, it's coffee or nothing. Something about these stories just ain't set right with me. And that man of mine made a valid point. In the world of social media, if these men really existed, they would have came forward and shared their side. Why these men ain't said nothing? Because I don't think these men exist. because I don't think none of this happened. And all of these stories are made up for likes and views, but they do not care about the ramification of their words. Y'all are going to end up being single for the rest of your life because you are believing some made up stories that somebody used to play off your emotions just to get their platform built. Got to be more careful.
An attractive girl stalked by scary man in the woods?
Seriously think that this dude is following me.
Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. I'm following you. I've been following you. You know why? We're on a walking trail. We came from that way. It only goes this way. Of course I'm following you. Duh. Fucking duh.
Yeah, I guess so, right?
Modern women tend to think that everything around them belongs to them and men should not have access to it. It's really the weirdest thing that you can probably encounter.
The reason why men are not asking women out on dates right now is because of women. Yes, I said it. Men are supposed to be the rock of the friendship, relationship, whatever, but we are the ones that like fix up a little. When there's fixing, that's where we come in. Like, we're supposed to like help out in departments that men really don't know, like the emotional state of it. Like, the reason why like we're all fucked up as a generation is because we're not healed. Nobody's healed. Everybody got things that they need to work on, whether it's from things from when we were kids, whether it's things that we're working on now. Like, everybody needs to work on themselves, but want to date at the same time and feel lonely and feel like they need somebody. Like, when they feel alone, now they're depressed because they feel like they need companionship. When really, you just need the Lord Jesus Christ and just time for yourself. That's the only way you really get to know yourself for real. Like, you don't need to be going from guy to guy to feel some type of like happiness, bro. Like, you don't need validation from nobody but the Lord. Honestly, like when you start talking to God and you start asking him certain things and you start leaving it up to God, you just start feeling a little bit more peace. But all that dating without a title, all that dating without actually saying, can I date you, is crazy, bro. We need to stand up. We need to stand up, ladies. Stand up, stand up, stand up. What are we, like, settling at the bottom of hell, like the pits of hell? Like, what are we doing, y'all? Then we blame men for mad shit that we be going for. Why would they have anything to fight for? Like, I hate to be like, I'm not for women. I am for women. Like, I am a woman. Like, I'm not going for a lot of shit. And I'm getting my way because men see the type of bitch I hold myself to be. I'm not going for certain things. If you're not my boyfriend, you're not my boyfriend to be telling me about me. That's one. Two, I carry myself a way that I feel like every woman should. Carry yourself to be, be nice, be gentle, be stern when you need to be. Like, go for things that you want to go for if it suits you to be the type of woman you need to be. Okay? Don't be just filling the void and go for men to fill the void. These men are not healed their damn selves. Okay? Start thinking about you. Start thinking about the things you need to work on. Start thinking about the things that make you flaw. Yeah. Start thinking about that. And be like, damn, all right, I need to work on that. And if I see that I'm not the issue, then I crack the code. It's not me. But don't be in denial, because bitches really just try to brush it off and be like, aha, it wasn't me. See, it wasn't me. I told you so. Like, no. Women are so smart, bro. We are like literally, we are always ahead of men. Our frontal lobe develops faster than them. And somehow, some way, niggas still be playing with us. It's because we have that emotional side to us. We let our emotions take over the things that are going on in our brains and the things that we know that are correct and the things that we know that are straight facts and morals and principles. It all begins with morals, principles, and just being a lady at the end of the day. Like, there's some bitches that want to be birds. There's some bitches that want to be fucking just be fucking around. Let that to them. Let that culture be for them. If you know deep down that's not you, then start going in your own path, bro. Stop having fear of missing out because you see everybody getting lit. Them bitches are lost. Do you hear me? They're lost. They don't know what they want. But later on in life, they're going to want to be the girl that's put away. Why does nobody want me? It's because you're not being the type of bitch that a nigga want. Why are these girls getting taken out? Why their aesthetic is so cute? Like, no, fuck the aesthetic. That's just how a bitch really is. The bitch is a bad bitch, and the bitch is just classy, soft, and she's not going for none of that. Do you see a soft bitch going for shit? No. Do you see a soft, sexy, bad bitch going for anything? No. She has a standard. She's classy. She's sprinkle. And she's not letting niggas walk all over her. As if though the bitch that is going out every night, going out every weekend, drinking like crazy. Why are we drinking to get drunk? We are lost. I'm over here on Temu buying a fucking blanket while bitches is getting drunk. This is my pleasure. I'm safe at home. I don't got to worry about niggas doing something to me and I'm lost and I'm filling in that void. I'm filling in that void by the word of God. I'm talking to God. I'm asking him, like, just help me out here. I'm confused. I don't know what to do. And I get the help I need. Ladies, we need to stand up and we need to make sure niggas know that we're not going for certain things no more. It gets to a point where it gets to a certain age that you really need to know when to not go for certain things, and you really need to, like, you don't have anybody in front of you introducing you to the world. It's you introducing yourself to the world. So fix up. Men are going to start realizing that you are a tough cookie. You're a tough cookie and you're not going for certain things. I'm not going to play with her. Come on, bro. Let's do better.
Dude in the comments said it's definitely transitioning into the why even bother era. Exactly. I mean, y'all seen video titles, why men are staying single, why men are not dating anymore, why men choose peace over dating, why men go to the gym, work on their goals, work on themselves over dating, why men choose their friends over dating. You've seen it. Modern women out here do too much. And men, at some point in time, they just get turned off by it.
Guys don't approach girls at the bars anymore.
I do.
I don't expect guys to come up to me, but I know the caliber of my friends, and I know what those look like, and they are some stunning. If guys aren't going up to them, guys aren't going up to fucking anyone. So I think if you're going up to girls at the bar in the first place, whether you say hi, whether you say, can I buy you a drink, whether you use Nick's line, which is a great line, by the way.
Thank you.
I think you have a million times better of a shot.
Yeah, I mean,
you really don't have all that much competition because guys aren't going up to girls. It's not like 15 guys are going up to a girl in a night to tell her how pretty she is. She probably gets one a night.
So it's interesting that she immediately says, well, my friends are so hot. They are like the gold standard of hot. So, you know, if guys aren't going up to them, and here's the thing, the hotness is starting to matter like less and less to these guys. Now, why is that? Because they're tired of getting blown off. When they go up to the hot girl, they're tired of buying their drinks all night and then getting blown off. Girls give the wrong phone numbers to these guys. That happens all the time. They're tired of getting taken advantage of, getting used. They give the girl all the attention. They boost her ego. And then she goes and has an after party with some other guy after she got tipsy drinking the drinks that you paid for all night at the bar. So they're finding that the reward for their effort is like, it's just not worth it to a lot of them, right? So they're just not doing it anymore. Now what's happening is that the caliber of woman, like it has to be someone that they size up as being there for the right reason. So if you're just a hot girl at a bar, you're like kind of like a dime a dozen now. And they're like, okay. And they're starting to, in their minds, these guys say, well, yeah, she's a hot girl, but like, what am I actually getting out of this? Like, is she really going to be interested in me? Is she using, like, there's just so much bull to contend with. Now, guys will still, I think, make effort for the right women. So if it's a woman who they've been introduced to by someone, or if it's someone they know through someone where they feel at least like it's been filtered in a sense, that's different. But they're so tired. And if they do go up to these girls, they are less and less being like, can I buy you a drink? Guys aren't going to go over to a woman anymore and say, oh, you look really great or something, because you know what women do? First of all, they take that comment, they take it as you being too nice, and then they like make a video about it. Oh, he was just, I don't know, it was like too much, too fast, you know, right? Or they say, thank you. And then like 5 minutes later, they're on TikTok like, he gave me the ick because he said that I was cute. And like, second one, like, don't you have anything else to do? You know, right? They're tired of it. They see videos all over the internet getting trashed, right? Of guys like them getting trashed. Sterling was saying that so many guys were writing into him saying that just from going up to girls, they were getting like accused of SA. Like literally just by going up, complimenting them, they were getting SA charges. Like they were like, "Kat, oh, you're, horrible stuff." So they were like, "Screw you. I'm not complimenting you. You do you, honey." Like that, it's going to get to that point, and they're starting to go crazy because they can't figure it out. Well, this is why, love. You know what? You push the envelope too far and you're driving them away. That's why.
You know why guys are not going up to them? Because they're probably an issue. They're not as stunning and of high caliber as you think that they are. Probably, good people, good friends to be around, but that's where it stops. They're not good people to be around in relationships. A man will have to deal with that, not you.
So Willow Smith says she does not see guys approach women like she used to. She doesn't see guys approach women and ask them out or ask for their numbers. Now, shooters are always going to shoot, but for the most part on social media, women have made it a point to say they do not want guys approaching them. Now, there are some outliers, but for the majority, what I see is that women say, "Hey, if I don't know you, do not approach me." Or there's just not places to approach people anymore. You know what I'm saying? You can't talk to women at this place or that place. So men, we like, yeah, if I can't talk to you here, there, or anywhere, I'm just going to go about my business. Now, is this a good thing or a bad thing? I think it's worse. I think it's a downfall of society, because ask your grandparents where they met. They might have met at a gas station. Like they might have met at like a car hop or like some little like small place, you know what I'm saying? Where nowadays we be like, yeah, don't talk to me here. That is where like a majority of people met. Nowadays, if you ain't meeting on social media, you meeting through work, it's like an arranged thing to where it's not organic anymore, and you have to have some sort of like connection outside of this to even meet somebody. So I mean, if you want guys to holler at you, then just tell us to.
Can we get to the bottom of this question of why Dutch men don't approach women? Please comment your thoughts, because honestly, it has been one of the most shocking things for me living in the Netherlands is how much there's just like the social thing and like the man and woman thing. Because in New York, you basically cannot leave the house without somebody trying to come up to you and talk to you. I have a boyfriend at the tip of our tongue, because we know there's gonna be some weirdo or creep, or maybe not a creep, coming up to you and being like, "Hey, can I get your number?" Like, no matter what you look like. But in the Netherlands, you are fine. Go out. Nobody's gonna come up to you unless maybe you're drunk at a club. And I don't go to clubs. So, why? Somebody let me know.
Lulu says, nobody wants to say this, but the well-intended Me Too exposés metastasized into hysterical witch hunts, creating an environment of fear that altered human mating habits for a generation. TLDR, we've been scaring the bros. And I can't say that that's not true. In a lot of the surveys that I looked up, sort of trying to figure out why men are not approaching women, most of them said they did not want to be perceived as creepy, they did not want to deal with any sort of sexual harassment allegations, and they didn't want to be freaked out on by a woman who did not want to be approached. And so many people are echoing this exact sentiment. Chadley says women will literally start a global witch hunt against flirting, successfully destroy it, forget, and then start a new movement complaining that nobody is hitting on them. Bizlet says, would you apply for a job with an insane list of requirements? And furthermore, the company gets insulted for giving them your resume and makes a scene about it. And lastly, you get this little cartoon of a cat that's sitting on a window, and the cat says, "I'm so lonely. Why must I live this life alone in solitude?" Somebody comes to pet the cat. The cat says, "Don't f***ing touch me. Will this loneliness ever end?" So, wow. We're scaring the hoes. We're scaring the bros, I guess, as people are saying here. This has overwhelmingly been the response to the video that I showed you, that women have actually created this problem by going after men for hitting on them or trying to pursue them romantically. And of course, many are leaning on the example of the Me Too movement, which of course was well intended. They wanted to go after predators, harassers, people who were actually not well intended in their pursuit of women. But now we've crossed a line, I guess, where men who are hitting on women with good intentions, who just want to go on a date, maybe get a girlfriend, maybe even just get a one-night stand, which is, not the worst thing in the world, have been accused of being creepy. So men are backing off and saying, you know what, if you don't want me to hit on you, if you don't want me to pursue you, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to sit here, I'm going to stick with my guys when I'm going out, or I'm just going to not go out at all, and I'm not going to approach you. And we've actually documented this phenomenon on this channel on multiple occasions. I showed you a video of a girl who got a compliment, albeit a sexual compliment, at a gym, and she went and accused the guy of sexual harassment, created an entire scene, and all he did was say one thing and leave her alone. We had another video recently of a young girl who got approached mildly, I mean mildly, at a Whole Foods, and she came to her car and made a whole video about the guy being a freak and saying that men are going crazy in their pursuit of women. So this is not really being created out of thin air, this idea that men are going to be accused of being creepy for pursuing women. But is that all that's going on? I don't know. When I think about the women that I know, most of them are single. Most of them want to be approached. So I'm trying to think of what other groups of women exist. Of course, there are those who don't want to be approached. And I think something we're not talking about necessarily is women who say they don't want to be approached, but they actually do. And women who say they want to be approached, but they only want to be approached by a specific type of guy. And I started to look into this because, of course, a lot of the manosphere guys are talking about this 666 phenomenon, the idea of 6 figures, 6-pack, and 6 foot tall. And I wanted to see if there were any numbers on just how many women are looking for this criteria. As far as height, I did find some numbers. It says only 15% of women show interest in 5'8" men on dating apps, and 60% of them are going for a man who is 6 foot tall or taller. And I'm not sure how that's going to work out. So there is an energy of going on dating apps, wanting to make romantic connections, wanting to be approached by men.
I mean, modern women live on emotion, so they would rather a man approach just anyway. Just go ahead and approach me. It doesn't matter. Just throw caution to the wind. No, I'm not going to be doing that. I don't want my life, my career, and my well-being, my livelihood ruined because of whatever you got going on.
Alright, for real, this is the last video that I'm gonna make, like, responding to somebody on this shit. But the fact that he just said, oh, I'm the culprit for men not approaching women anymore. Men are the culprit! Men...
This one's for the men. Why aren't we going up to women and hitting on them anymore? Asking them out, talking to them? Are we that shy and lame? I mean, I don't even hear men catcall anymore. Or is it just me?
From your perspective, why don't you think men approach? Personally, if the woman isn't giving me anything to go on, I'm probably going to say, like, he's probably not going to approach. So most women don't care if they're single, they appear to be single. No, like, try to gauge the situation. If she's honestly single and you go up and you make small conversation, not like, hey girl, can I have your number? Or damn girl, you fine. Like, we don't want to hear that. But if, like, you walk up and you're like, and you start a casual conversation, you can pretty much gauge from that point whether she's going to be interested in you or not. And that is the best way to approach women. Make small conversation. If you're standing in line behind a cute girl at a checkout, say excuse me and get something off the shelf, and then, like, make small talk, like, literally, like, nice weather outside. Like, it doesn't matter. If she is nice and willing to engage in small conversation with you back, typically if she is taken, she will just make it clear throughout the conversation at some point that, like, hey, she'll, like, casually bring up that, like, she's married or something like that. But respectful women that aren't, like, vindictive, like, little bitches, we really don't mind if people make small conversation with us, as long as it's respectful, right? And then, like, you go from there, from engage the conversation and see where it goes from there. So that's what I say. Don't be afraid to engage in conversation with women, even if you think, like, she's way out of your league, or you think, like, no way I would have a chance in hell with this person. Like, you never know. And your other comment was, you don't know unless you take the shot. And you're exactly right. You miss 100% of the shots you never take. So the worst case scenario is she's going to say no, or she's going to be a bitch and be like, don't talk to me. And who wants to be with somebody like that anyway? So you move on, like dodged a bullet.
I think for most women that are using logic and common sense and functioning as a grown adult that knows how to socialize, this is going to work. But I think men, like Amala was saying a few seconds ago, men, they just don't want to worry about like that, because this is a really good approach, right? And most men can follow this. But it's when they try to use this approach and women just freak out that they're like, you know what? Maybe that's not a good idea. I think I'll go do something else.
Why is it if you're out in public, right, and you see a girl, give them a little smile, why don't you just like start a conversation?
Quite frankly, one of the biggest reasons why a lot of men aren't even bothering to approach women anymore is because a lot of women out there have simply told them not to. It's as simple as that.
It's happened to me so many times, and I'm like, why are you guys not coming up to me? You obviously keep staring at me. We keep making eye contact. We keep giving each other a little smirky smile, so pull the trigger.
Because honestly, most of them don't know that you want them to approach. Just smiling at a guy does not mean it's an open invitation for them to approach you. If you really want the guy's attention and to know that he's actually welcome to talk to you, try talking to him first.
I wish I had the balls to go up to them and be like, hey.
And that would solve quite a lot of those problems, wouldn't it? But unfortunately, a lot of women lack the fortitude to be able to make the first move, or they believe that it is the guy's role traditionally to make the first move. Either way, kind of stuck in an impasse, aren't we?
So I'm never gonna do the first move. So I'm wondering, why don't you guys ever do it?
Quite simply, it's because there's a group of women out there that's very vocal about expressing their opinions about how much they don't want men to approach women, and that's ruined dating for a lot of people.
Okay, this is a serious question for the guys. I have this conversation with my female friends, I think, like, I'm not even kidding, once a week. So I'm just curious what the real reasoning is behind it. But most of my girlfriends say that whenever they're out, they never get approached by guys, ever. And maybe like one girl in the friend group who does get approached, it's not like she's a total standout from the group. But for some reason, like a specific girl might just like get hit on a lot, I don't know. But not even in a biased way. I think that some of my friends are very, very beautiful. Like, actually, I'm not just saying that to be nice. So it makes me really curious as to why guys don't go up to them. Is it like, one, even if you see an attractive girl, like you're just hanging out with your friends, you don't really care. Two, you're just simply not attracted to her. Three, maybe you like think she's just like in a relationship, or like she's just super standoffish and like bitchy looking, or like in general you just like don't want to deal with any type of rejection. Like, is it the guy's point of view, or is it just like the girls are putting out this weird vibe, or like just guys don't find them attractive? I don't know. But most of my friends like want to meet guys in person, but then they go out and just like nothing really happens. So what is it?
Apologies, I just got out of the shower and I'm looking disheveled, but I think this is a great question, and hopefully I'll be able to elaborate on all of this from a guy's perspective. Now, number one, with the attractive thing, to be honest, and we're just gonna be straight up honest here, guys will approach anyone from a 4 to a 10. So this idea of being attractive or not, I mean, it obviously helps to be more attractive to get more attention. But I'll tell you straight up from a guy's perspective, if a girl is too conventionally attractive, meaning she looks like every other typical OnlyFans Instagram models, blonde hair, you know, fake lips, just that whole look, off the bat, I can acknowledge objectively that she's attractive, but unfortunately with that look and with that kind of attractiveness, immediately to my mind comes high maintenance, egotistical, bad attitude. All those bad traits that come with those girls come to mind. So 100%, your friend might be beautiful, but because she looks so conventionally beautiful like all these other girls out there, it's actually a negative. I would rather girls have their own style, look beautiful in their own way, as opposed to all these girls trying to look the same because they think that's beautiful. It's more important for a girl to be herself than to be someone she's not. And especially in that aspect, huge detriment for guys. Like, if you go with a whole group of girlfriends, cool. But at some point in the night or whatever, when you're hitting the dance floor, getting drinks or whatever, I'd suggest going in pairs of 2, okay? That's a strategy. Because even if a guy's a complete G, no guy is walking up to a table of 10 girls to try to talk to one girl. It's never gonna happen. Just straight up never gonna happen. This goes into what I was gonna say next is, girls, unfortunately, single girls keep girls single. Let me say that again. Single girls keep girls single. I cannot count the amount of times I've approached a girl or talked to a girl and one of the friends is giving the judgmental side eye, the pulling away. Girls, your friends are cock blocking you mad hard. There's always that hater friend that is going to say no, this, that, and the other thing. And trust me, I'm not even saying that because you know what I mean? I've been rejected 100 times, whatever the case may be. You can legitimately tell when a girl's into it, wants to talk to you, but her one friend is just so, oh babe, come over here. No, she doesn't want to talk to you, this, that, and the other thing, even if your friend's totally into it. So girls, if you have friends like that, you have to deal with that. Single girls are going to keep girls single. It's unfortunate, okay? Guys will wingman other guys. Girls will do everything they can do to not let their friend hook up with a guy if they're not having fun or they're not getting attention. It's just, it is what it is. You do bring up a very, very good point about the fear of rejection. And to be honest, there's not one guy since a young lad who hasn't been absolutely crushed by girls, you know, making plans on a Friday night for 8 o'clock, the girl texts you at 7:30. Oh, you know what? Like, I'm sick. You know, my fucking aunt from New Brunswick, from fucking halfway across the country, decided to come and visit, and there's nothing I can do. I mean, girls, unfortunately, a lot of girls have like screwed each other on the front end because of that type of bullshit. But girls, not to mention with the feminist nonsense, the Me Too movement, I mean, guys are getting yelled at for opening the door for girls. So, I mean, so now you're asking a guy to approach a group of 10 girls to roll the dice to probably get rejected in a catastrophe, ridiculous way. So, I mean, at that point, the juice ain't worth the squeeze. Factually, the best pickup artists in the entire world go for, it's 1 to 10 ratio, meaning that they're successful or have a positive interaction with 1 out of 10 girls. And these are guys that have studied game, that make money from talking to girls. So the odds are stacked against guys. So I mean, at that particular point, I completely understand why guys are just completely checking out. Like, why wouldn't I just drink with my boys, have a good time, when the other option is, yeah, like I'm going to approach this girl and then be called all kinds of names and have my like name dragged through social media because I thought a girl was hot and now like she's just pissed at me. Whatever. I don't know what to do about that. But just a tip for you girls, and I think that this will make the biggest difference. Girls, if you see a guy you like at the club, gym, wherever, simple thing. Eye contact, smile. That's going to tell a guy, I think you're attractive, or at least that gives a guy the green light to approach you. That's all you got to do. And girls, if you can't do that, buy a dog, die alone. That's really all I have to say to you.
Now they're going to watch this and say, no, men put them on game. But this guy says here in the comments, okay, ladies, please pay close attention to this. You pushed us away for so long. That's why. Now here's the secret to get a man to come talk to you. Are you ready? Here we go. Give us a warm smile or give us a sweet wave to come up and talk to you. See how easy that is? Do it and watch the men flock to you. Now, to keep your man, do this. Feed us. Men are always hungry. That's true. I'm hungry right now. Be our best friend. Share sweet, loving words with us. I'm a man. This will melt our hearts. Are you willing to learn how? Now go get your man. There's plenty of men that give this type of advice out. plenty of men that give this type of healthy, straight to the point, direct advice that women can follow. They just don't like to follow it because they think their way of doing things and getting men is better.
And you thought you ate with this comment, right? There is a stark difference between a man following a woman around the store and not approaching her, just ogling her from the distance and pretending like they're shopping, and a man approaching a woman to pay his respects to her, say, "I think you're beautiful, may I have your number?" Does your miniature brain get the difference, or do I need to explain it further? There is a difference. One is being a creepy, perverted fuck, and the other is being a respectful man that values beauty and understands the incredible essence of a woman and wants to pay his respects to her. Had the old man come up to me and said, "You're so beautiful," I would have said, "Thank you, Grandpa. Thanks, but no thanks. You want to pay for my groceries? Get the fuck out of my face."
There's plenty of men that are respectful to you guys. It's just the fact that honestly and truly, y'all don't really even like them. Y'all don't find them attractive, so y'all find ways to disrespect them.
If you're a girl and you never get approached by dudes in public anymore, you are not alone. This is truthfully a common occurrence across the board. Dudes, flat out, simply are just not approaching women in person anymore. As a matter of fact, not even just for in-person interactions of going up to a woman and saying, "Hey, can I get your number?" Also, even when it comes to dating apps, even when it comes to Instagram DMs, it's actually kind of just dead across the board when it comes to men pursuing women. And this is a huge, huge problem that society does not look at enough, because if we don't have men pursuing women anymore, if we don't have relationships that can be long lasting, if we don't have families built, then over a long enough period of time, how do you have a society when no more families exist? You don't have a society anymore. Society collapses, and it all starts with men pursuing women. And it's a huge problem, but also don't feel like you are alone and sitting there wondering, like, why am I never getting approached in public or at all for that matter? It's not you. It's the simple fact that men do not pursue women at all anymore. They've just given up.
And apparently it's a lot of women out there that are not getting approached. One woman says never approached, but they have approached my friends that are taken. Somebody said, literally, I feel so ugly when I go to the bar and not a single man talks to me. Another woman says, I've never been approached, period. And it looks like some of these women don't look all that bad. So if the pretty women, if the women that people are saying should be grabbing all the attention aren't getting approached, where are we at in society?
There are things men do that are not creepy at all that women have all of a sudden categorized as creepy. Anything remotely not to their liking or somewhat off-putting, or again from someone who they are not into or attracted to, they're deeming as creepy. And I think that's why men are hesitant to approach, because most men I know don't do those things that I just talked about, right? They're just introducing themselves. They are, maybe looking in the girl's direction because they think she's attractive and the girl is calling that creepy. Like, I really don't understand why we've decided to be so dramatic about everything and make everything a scene and just call everything creepy, because everything is not creepy, okay? Someone looking in your direction is not creepy. So even sometimes when men are not being creepy at all, women will still roast you or post you online and try to get all these people rallying against you and roasting you. I think a lot of women have watered this down to a point where they're just labeling anyone they don't find attractive as creepy. Let's stop doing that. Let's save the creepy comments for the interactions and the men that are actually being creepy. And maybe stop being so overly sensitive and dramatic. And I'm saying that from a woman's point of view. Someone introducing themselves is not creepy. Someone glancing your direction because they think that you're attractive or beautiful is not creepy. So to wrap this one up here, I do think that there are some men who are doing creepy things, but I don't think it's the majority of men going out of their way to make people feel uncomfortable or to be creepy or be weird. I think a lot of it is just mislabeling men who maybe, you know, aren't attractive to the girl that they're approaching, or the girl's having a bad day, or she's overly sensitive, labeling them as creepy, which I don't think is necessarily fair. I think...
And honestly, with the way these modern women act, childishly, it's a wonder why a man would even think about approaching a woman nowadays. Why it would even cross his mind to approach, with the weird facial expressions, with the weird things that they say, just the weird things that they do. Because a man said, "Hey, how are you?"
Stop! You gotta go!
I don't like her.
I'm not. You're in a way.
I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking. You're gorgeous. I'm just letting you know you're gorgeous.
You gotta leave.
Girls swear that they want men to approach, and then they act like this. Sometimes they are the ones keeping themselves and everyone around them single. Literally nobody wants to deal with energy like that. And look, guys aren't perfect. Clearly this was not the best time, but if it was another dude who's tired of dating apps and tired of feeling lonely, finally worked up the courage to put himself out there, and this is the kind of reaction he got, that is probably his first and last time ever doing that. And the funny part is, I wasn't even talking to her. I was trying to compliment her friend in the back, and she jumps in, starts screaming and making a scene. Classic fridge protecting the snacks. So yeah, you can keep talking about why don't men approach us anymore? But when you act like this, you create the exact reality that you complain about. So when you're sitting in your 30s and thinking, where have all the good men gone? Rewind this clip and you'll have your answer.
You got a woman right here that says, "I'm going to tell you right now as a woman, the most miserable one in the friend group wants to sabotage love for her more upbeat, happy, pretty friends. This is why I don't have friends groups and only hang out with my biological sisters who I know want the best for me."
As a gay man with a lot of girlfriends, the two most common complaints I hear from my single friends is, one, that apps have ruined dating because guys never go up to girls anymore to ask them out, which they think is cool if guys have the confidence to go up to them. And the number two thing that they complain about is that it's creepy when guys go up to them because they're just trying to have a fun night with their girlfriends out at the bar. So do with that information what you will, and good luck in the dating world.
And that's really all they're doing, is a bunch of complaining. Which is part of the reason that men do not want to be bothered anymore by foolishness. It's just too much. Too much complaining, too much of men never measuring up, too much of a man is never attractive. I haven't seen an attractive man in 1,000 years. We haven't been alive 1,000 years. Doesn't matter. I pull on my great ancestors and my great super great ancestors, and they say in the time that they've lived, they've not seen an attractive man either. So it's just a bunch of foolishness, just a bunch of complaining, and it really never stops with modern women.